Well, welcome to the very first podcast of Killer Cat's Crew. So, I'm
Three women
Intoxikatey. Yeah.
Three crazy-ass women with way too much to rant about on one podcast.
Oh yeah.
I'm KP.
And I'm Nelly.
Well, we are a bit of a trifecta of hatred. And you
yeah.
might be wondering how we all know each other.
That's a pretty good question, actually.
Yes, I met you, Chrissy, up in Montreal. I think. I was drunk.
All I said was it wasn't the boobs that got us all together.
It was not the boobs that got us
Not the
together, no.
boobs.
It was our love for obscure extreme metal, I would say.
And
Yes.
Shining being one of them. So
Yes.
we all have a very weird connection with Shining, so which is interesting.
Yeah, I'm sitting at the Shining merchandise room, so this is like my side of the merchandise, and on the other side there's like warehouse. So I take care of Shining's web shop stuff. So that's my connection. And
yes.
Katie, you then?
Yes. I also do merch, but for my old band. But yeah, I met Chrissy up in Montreal at that festival, and such met you via Facebook. But I mean, we all have a love for this black metal and extreme metal, and but I mean, I'm definitely, I believe, the youngest of the group, and I grew up past all of the awesome bands that I've known about. So it's interesting for me to talk to people who have, grown up in this situation. Where, Nelly, I know you're obviously from Finland, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm originally from Finland, though I live in Sweden now. So, yes, Finnish.
So I'm sure that discovering all those bands were a little bit easier.
Not
well,
exactly.
I don't know.
Not for me, anyway. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, jumped in.
No. You can take the next one. As in, how did you start with all this?
Well, I started out as a thrash metal kid. Slayer, Metal Church, Megadeth, all that. And then, actually, I was in my 30s, and a friend and I saw this article about the most extreme things that have happened in metal. And we were joking because we were like, yeah, we've seen it all, whatever. And they started talking about the church burnings and stuff in Norway, and we were like, what the fuck? No way! So we had to know more. So Mayhem was like the first, like, really black metal that we got into. And then, I mean, I'd always liked Celtic Frost and all that, but the more extreme end, I was in my 30s when I found them, so don't feel bad, Katie.
I was always just sad because by the time I realized my love for all these guys, I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to ever see this shit.
For me, I think it was I was 15 or something, anywhere like in the first years of high school, and we created tapes like Dirt Heimsgard and Mayhem, Arcturus, and not that many people were into metal at that point. I mean, even Amorphis, which might be considered quite a mainstream metal band, even that was like, people knew Black Winter Day if they were really into metal, but nothing else. So it was still an obscure thing. Before that, I was just, into industrial music and electronic stuff, which I still am, but then I went into metal and took it from there. But I think that was like around 95 or something like that.
Absolutely. I mean, there was so many bands over here too, but they were more like, death metal and stuff. Like a couple of local bands like Martyvore have been around forever, but I don't think a lot of people would have heard about them over here if it wasn't for, like you said, bigger bands like Krillefeld having that image and getting the attention they did. But I mean, I remember listening to, what was it? I think 1349 was the first band that I was just like, wow, what the fuck is this?
Well, that was, but that's still like 1349, that wasn't that long ago.
No, it was
Because
not.
I remember it was when it came out, it was just like this, like a new band. But that's cool to hear that was like the first band for you, in a way.
Yeah, between them and Behemoth, because I mean, up until then, I grew up on like Sabbath and Zeppelin and fucking Metallica and Floyd and stuff. So I ended up listening to Slipknot like shitload.
Oh no!
Hey,
Not
those guys are
Slipknot.
fucking sweet.
I live right above them. Oh no!
No, I ended up being pretty good friends with them for a little while, and it was pretty cool. They're cool dudes. But I went from that to Behemoth to 1349, and before I think my friends tried to have me listen to like, the fuck was it? I think it was Emperor's Wrath of the Tyrant, and I just sat there like, how the fuck are you guys listening to this right now? But I was like determined because all of my friends were like, don't do that, and all of the two of them were like, no, this is really good. I'm like sitting there, like I have to find something that I like from this genre because I do like it. There's something there, and 1349 definitely opened that. And years later, I went back and I was like, dude, I'm an idiot for thinking Emperor sucked. I will never live that down.
Yeah, but you're not the only one. For me, Emperor sucked because it was like one of the mainstream bands. It was kind of like the same with Dimmu Borgir. You were not allowed to like Dimmu Borgir after they came out with that hideous green album. So it was kind of like, no Dimmu Borgir. Ever.
Nope.
Ever.
I think we started calling them Demon Burger. Yeah, but I think every year I just find myself delving deep into the bands that I can't pronounce and don't really know where they're from, but they're great.
Exactly. Well, that's the nice thing about being friends with people from over in Sweden and stuff. Now it's like they know all the obscure stuff that I would probably never find ever, and I can't pronounce unless I talk to them.
It's good to have like pronunciation help, and then just well, tape trading should come back, though I now think it's more of YouTube link trading, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's definitely come back over here. When we were on tour, I think we traded tapes with like at least 4 other bands at gas stations, which was crazy. We sold most of our merch at gas stations. But yeah, every show, everybody has tapes over here. It's fucking insane. I don't even have a tape player, but I still have like a massive pile of tapes that I can't listen to.
I think the biggest problem with tapes is not finding the tapes, it's finding the car that still has a cassette player.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I'm lucky. I still actually have a cassette player sitting over here.
Oh no!
Actually, I have 2 of them, so I refuse to give them up. Just like 8-tracks, they're gonna come back.
Yeah, exactly. 8-tracks they are the coolest.
Absolutely.
But what are the other interests you guys have besides music?
Let's see. Everything. No, I hate everything.
I hate the world.
Well, I think that, given the fact that we like this dark music, there's so many things surrounding it that's like a whole different culture, which a lot of people sometimes get, sometimes don't. But, I mean, obviously with the church burnings that you mentioned, the murders and all that, we all kind of have to be a little fucked up. So I love horror movies, writing about horror stuff. Obviously, our favorite serial killers.
Yes. Serial killers.
And
Yes.
Chrissy, you stayed at that hotel, right?
Yes, stayed at the Ambassador Hotel where Dahmer killed his second victim. Carried him out in a suitcase. Yep. Pretty creepy. It's
That
pretty
is so
awesome. I gotta go back and stay in that room now that I know which one it is. I figured it out.
Yeah, definitely. We should make a trip into
Yes.
the hotel and then stay there, and then just do further serial killer tours after that.
Exactly.
But on our own terms, not the paid ones. We're gonna find out everything out by ourselves.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Get rid of the killers.
Got a whole bookshelf behind me full of crap about serial killers. So secret societies.
Oh, I got this bookshelf here full of mostly horror stuff. So I read a lot, mostly horror and fantasy, mostly, splatterpunk and stuff. But then also, serial killer biographies and all that. And well, I don't know. Besides that, I just have time for movies, and that's almost 100% horror movies. I think I've seen everything there is, ever made, even the bad ones.
The bad ones are almost my favorite.
Yeah.
Well, not all of them.
Not all of them, no.
Have you seen what's it? The whale hunt thing from Norway? I have to send you a copy. It's the worst horror movie ever made.
There's that, but then there's Troll Hunter. Troll Hunter was my fucking favorite.
Oh yeah, Troll Hunter and Thale. Those two are fabulous.
That one you told me to watch was absolutely awesome.
Maniac, the original Maniac. Have you seen that? Bad.
I believe so.
Oh yeah.
Bad movie, but it's awesome.
Awesome.
It's so campy, it's awesome.
But the remake is good too.
Oh yeah, it was excellent. The one thing I can't stand, as much as I love horror and love watching people get stabbed and cut, shot, and whatever, is when someone cuts the Achilles heel. Oh, it drives me insane. I can't watch
you
it.
in the hostel scene.
Oh, I can't do it. I'm like, if there's an Achilles heel coming up, I'm not looking. I can't. I can watch everything else. I can't watch that.
I love it.
I think that, and then if there's there are some things, as in if you're looking, not horror, but if you're looking at snuff films, Faces of Death and all that, half snuff things that they've made. Not all of them are real, but when you actually see something that's real, you know it because there's this humane sense of actual human suffering that you either hear or see, and that's kind of ooh, okay. But it's a fun feeling too when you feel that that was actually real. So
yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that stuff. Actually, a buddy of mine has a whole basement full of snuff films, so I'll have to snag some and send some over. I haven't watched them in a while, but they're just fucked up.
Sick.
But I'll sit there, I'll watch it for hours. It's fucking amazing. But then again, in Hostel,
fake snuff films. Have you guys seen a Serbian film?
What was it?
Did you see a Serbian film?
Don't think so.
You haven't?
It's good. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. Look for it. That's a good one.
I'll have to remember.
Yeah, it's definitely worth watching because it's kind of it's one of those films that have gathered followers already. So then you see where it all started.
Nice.
That shirt I was wearing last night when you and I were talking is from a Serbian film.
Awesome.
Go hard or go home.
What? Oh.
I have to find it. I used to have a shirt. It was I Spit on Your Grave shirt. It was just the picture of the chick getting dragged through the woods.
Nice.
That movie was interesting.
And the sequel that they made now, I mean, the original is good, and the remake I think is good as well. But the remake sequel is actually the best one in my opinion.
I didn't even know they made a sequel.
Yeah, so that's the one I like. And if you like those horror shirts and film shirts and stuff, we get this horror block from Canada every month. They always have one T-shirt and then 5 other novelty items in it, and it costs what is it, $12 or something. So almost nothing, and I just got an American Werewolf in London t-shirt. It's fabulous.
Nice.
I have to stop buying t-shirts.
I have to
You're an
start.
addict.
I get yelled at by my significant other. He's like, "You what? You bought more? Where are you gonna put them all?"
See, it's the complete opposite for me. I think I have maybe 5. Meanwhile, Jamie, the boyfriend, he has got like a whole closet full of shirts. I'm just, what the fuck?
No, shirts and hoodies, I'm an addict. Bad. Of course, it doesn't help when it's 90 degrees here either, so. But I'll still wear them. I'll still wear a hoodie when it's 90 degrees. I don't care.
So what are you guys' favorite deaths in movies? Like, I know I ended up going on a kick where I watched all of Sean Bean's movies because he dies in all of them. There's actually a death reel on Facebook. It's like the YouTube, the Sean Bean death reel. And it was from Black Death when he gets drawn and quartered. Spoiler, sorry. Shit.
Best death scene. That's a tough one.
Actually, go ahead.
No, you can.
I was gonna say one of my favorite death scenes is in Vikings. It's not even in a horror movie.
Which one?
It's when they did the what's that called? The Blood Eagle.
The Bloody Eagle?
Yes. Yes. That was excellent. And it was on TV. That was like, I couldn't believe it. This was like one of the greatest things I've ever seen on TV.
Yeah, I remember a couple of my friends freaking out about that. It's like, dude, it's awesome, shut up.
It's real. They used to do that.
I think that, it isn't exactly a death, but if now I came to think of TV instead of films, and I was thinking American Horror Story now, when they had the clown, and how the clown got his face. As in, he tries to, well, spoilers again, he tries to shoot his brains out, but the shotgun obviously slings to the side, and then his mouth gets all messed up, and he just fixes the mask over this what's left of his mouth, and it's not exactly a death, but it's pretty cool. And I also like the scalping thing. I mean, going around with somebody else's hair on you, that's cool.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Those are probably my favorite parts of Devil's Reject, or not Devil's Rejects, House of a Thousand Corpses, when he comes down with the dad's face.
Oh yeah. That, and then what was the other thing? When we talk about serial killers, so thinking that those innovative ways that they killed people, and then the better movies made of serial killers that actually get those details correct, like what Dahmer did with the drilling and all that. That's an interesting idea. And that kinds of, I can't say that this movie death was good because it was based on reality, because in reality it was even cooler. Right. But anyway.
I was just watching that movie the other day. I wanted to rewatch it. And Jeremy Renner did such a fucking good job with that scene. Because the way he went at it, it wasn't even like questioning, like, oh, I'm just gonna drill into this dude's head, it's fine. He won't notice. But yeah.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like this.
I'm actually excited for my Hometown Heroes movie to come out, Whitey Bulger. Yes. They're coming out with that movie pretty soon, and I'm excited to see that. Not so much. It's hard. It's not technically like serial killer, but at the same time, you are running a mob or a gang, and you killed like 20, 30 fucking people.
Contract killing. Awesome.
Yeah, and most of his kills were just brutal. Like, a buddy of mine lives pretty close to one of their slaughterhouses, and they just strap people to chairs, blow their fucking kneecaps off, just let them bleed out.
So it's like more torture porn Then
Yeah, pretty much.
that's cool.
So if you guys could get away with it, what would be your ultimate weapon?
I'd have to have a nice big knife. Up close and personal.
I'd probably
And
just,
bloody.
tie them.
Hi, how are
It would have to be some kind of, combination of tying somebody down or drugging them first and then just, taking their extremities off with a machete or something as big, or an axe.
We're sick. That's awesome.
No, why do you say so? I write all these, I always when I when I get these bad feelings, I start to write them down, like a bad dream, or if I feel hate towards a person. So I just write down these stories about how I would kill those people or what happened in a dream, and yeah, I got quite a lot of those. It's not sick. It's relaxing and it takes your mind off things. And then when you see those people again, you don't feel hatred anymore because you've already killed them in your
That's
head.
true.
But you've already killed them.
I've did that
Creative
twice,
therapy.
actually.
Creative therapy like that is the best.
I did that twice. It does work. And I told them, "You're dead to me." So.
Yeah, I think one of the, and again, like you said, when you write it down, I have this book thing that I've been writing, and one of my favorite death scenes that I wrote has one of those sais, the Ninja Turtles used to use. They have like the little curly things and the big pointy part, and she just slits the dude's throat and punches through his stomach and completely unrealistically grabs his spine and rips his spine out. And I was so happy with that scene, and I was like, I've never seen that in a movie. This is gonna be great. And then I went to go see Predators, and I watched Predator do that to one of the guys. And I was like, damn it!
I mean,
well, when dating somebody in the music scene, we have to be mean as significant others, so otherwise they get too egotistical.
I date a drummer, and I just stay out of it. I don't.
Well, the drummers are just a special breed.
Yeah. Yes. But I mean, I'm not one of the girls that's like, oh, can I come watch you go play? And can I come watch you practice? And nah. Oh, look, I date the drummer. No.
There's some people like that. When we were on, that was the first time I ever went on tour, and some of the fucking people who were just like, oh, do you date one of the people in the band? I'm like, well, yeah, but at the same time, I run their shit, so shut up.
yeah. I think the biggest problem is always trying to be nice, but at the same time, just trying to give the band and all the musicians and the crew, the space they need to actually work. I mean,
exactly.
those be the girls or boys, they don't understand that people need their space. I mean, you've just had an hour's worth of hard training, hard playing, and giving your all on stage. And if you would do the same thing in your job, training and doing your job for an hour, you'd be quite tired after that. And those people who want to be backstage and get the autographs, it's not like they want to be mean to those people. It's just that they're fucking tired and they want to be alone.
Exactly.
Cut them some slack. They just made a show and they're like, but I want to go in. I want to have your autograph. Please, I love you. It's like, whatever. But I'm just, I'm just really, really tired.
Absolutely. That, and with the types of music, obviously, with Shining, and then the band I work with is also a black metal band, so there's a lot of preparing before they go on stage. With us, they do the corpse paint, and they have a huge ritual that they do, and because we're still small, we don't really have like a green room, so they're trying to do this, and people are coming over, and they're like, "Oh, is that blood on the altar? Like, is that real? Like, I want to ask you all these questions." And I'm like, "You're gonna get stabbed if you don't fucking back off."
Yeah.
So I have to like rope them over, and be like, "Yeah, that is. Come look at the merch.
Come buy stuff.
Leave them alone. You don't have to buy anything. Just don't talk to them right now."
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I
But it
can't
can
blame
be-
them, obviously. Like, you want to know, you want to ask everybody these questions, but like you said, there's a lot of people who don't know that line of, you probably shouldn't cross this.
Yeah, and I mean they do mean well, and I mean they have all the right to be excited and love
Yeah.
the band, and but it's just so hard to like try and explain to them why it isn't possible right now. It's like it's nothing personal, and it's like a good thing that you like the band, but just take it down a notch and wait a while, and maybe if you're lucky, they're gonna have the time and patience and energy to meet you, and then it's gonna be perfect. But then the opposite, what can happen is that then you get these angry fans going, "I don't like you anymore" on Facebook and being like, "The band totally ditched me. They didn't write me an autograph. They hate their fans." No, they were tired. Well, of course, then there can be assholes like Dave Mustaine is an asshole. Danzig is an asshole.
Yes,
This
Danzig
comes
is
from-
an asshole.
He was not an asshole when I was like, taking. He had a real problem back when I was working for a record label in Finland, and they had just come out with 666, Satan's Child,
Yep.
and he needed some hair gel because he didn't have those hair implants yet. So he needed hair gel, so I ran over as as a representative of the record label. I ran to my house, got some hair gel so he could fix his hair so he didn't look bald. So he was really nice, like as as a person to a person who was helping him to do his job, but to everybody else he was just an asshole. So I gather he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Every time he's played here, he complains on stage.
Ugh.
And it's like, you know what? I'm not paying to listen to you complain on stage.
Yeah.
My fucking mic doesn't work. The fucking sound's off. Blah, 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 blah. Really? You can't do that during sound check? Sounds fine to us. I can't tell, whatever. It doesn't sound great coming out of the monitors, but just shut up and fucking sing. Get off stage.
Like, he's done so many gigs that it can also be that he's just, tired of doing it. He's just tired of being on stage and just can't bear it anymore, because those problems, they are really annoying, and if you get the same shit every year, day in, day out, it's kind of like, fuck this shit, I'm going home.
Yep.
I'd be complaining if I was him.
Well, the last time he played, or was supposed to play here, he walked into the venue, said the ceilings were too low, walked out, canceled the show.
Okay, maybe he should have taken that up with his promoter before he went into the thing.
Right.
Luckily, they gave us our money back, and it was like, that's it. That was it. I was like, I'm not paying to see him anymore. I can't. I love Danzig. That's the thing that sucks about it. He's great.
There's a lot of things like
it's
that.
It's just disappointing.
Avoiding going to bigger band shows, which sucks. I think the Mestamorts was the first big show I've been to since I think Latane came around. But other than that, every time we go, there's just something wrong. And I don't know if it's some of the people that show up to the shows around here. I actually watched Robin from 1349 laugh in this kid's face. Just because he was such an idiot. But there's so many people in the area that just like show up and they just don't fucking get it. Like, it's just horrible. They ruin the experience. But then all the local shows,
Mayhem Fest.
I won't even go to Mayhem Fest. The first year that Mayhem Fest existed, I worked it, and it was great. But that's because I was working. There was a fence I could stand behind that I didn't have to interact. But
yeah, when I leave during Slayer, that means it's bad.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, mean, I always applaud the energy that people give off. Like, obviously, the bands are going to feed off that, but if you come to a show with really, really bad corpse paint on, just to stand there and not even do anything. If you go up to one of the biggest black metal bands and just like, oh, hey, do you like my corpse paint? They're going to laugh at you.
And I mean, all those musicians, they have to have the patience of a saint, and then yet a metal musician hardly ever is. So
yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, we only have like 2 good venues around here, and one of them, the Palladium, I think Latine won't play there anymore because they kept getting yelled at for the blood.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't even let Guar do their full stage performance when they used to come around because they were like, oh, we don't want to clean up after it.
Well, I can understand that in a way because in those some venues, they, have to, there are laws, they have to have a biohazard cleaning afterwards, and that's not cheap. Nor is it no quick, so it's kind of like, hey, I got a hazmat suit with me, so can we use the blood if I clean it myself? Then maybe.
We've actually bailed out of a couple places really fast because they weren't too happy with the amount of pig's blood everywhere.
Luckily, all the blood landed on me at the Shining show in Montreal. They didn't have to clean up anything.
Yeah, I think
I wonder what blood that was, actually. I think it was pig's blood.
It tasted
you
that
never
way.
know.
Some of it got in my face. I was like, this tastes familiar. Because we used pig's blood too. We actually, the first time we did it, we were in Philadelphia at this place called the Kung Fu Necktie, which is a sweet little place. We brought our own blood. The promoter didn't know. He bought like a gallon of cow's blood. So we're like, oh, well, obviously we're going to use all of this. And Morg, the vocalist, poured it all over me. The whole place was just covered. Like, the floor, there's pictures of it on their Facebook, but the whole floor was just covered in blood. And as we're leaving, we didn't realize that the venue had double booked, so there was actually a house party right after us.
A very interesting house party.
So there's just like a house party group of people just standing at the back of the room like, what the fuck? And I was walking through to get back to the merch table, and I'm just covered in blood like fucking Carrie. Just walking like, why are these people looking at me?
I just remember a girl at the bar after the show. She was like, "Can I smell your head? Because we're having this debate. We think it's wine. It's not wine. It's not wine. It's blood. It stinks. It's blood." So I let her smell my head. Whatever. Whatever.
The last show we did, they were cleaning it, and they were like, "Oh, this isn't real. Like, blood doesn't clot like that." And
yeah,
Dufel was like, "It does if you put salt in it." The guy was like, "What?" He was like, "Nothing. Don't worry about it."
Oh, guys. I think that maybe in the future podcasts we're gonna be taking up certain bands and certain movies and certain something every time.
Absolutely.
So I'm just wondering that once I have edited this and once someone has actually seen this, which I hope some people will, so that people can actually send us suggestions of if they have something special they'd like us to cover.
No, we're not taking off our shirts. I'm just saying that right now.
We'll leave that to the groupies.
I can already say that, we can give, just our faces to you. Our faces are pretty enough to keep you satisfied. And the voices. So if you need more, sorry, no can do.
Go to Deja Vu. There's hundreds of beautiful women and 3 ugly ones.
Well, we'd like to close this out by saying, I don't know, a favorite band of the week for people to go check out or something.
Sure.
Okay, mine isn't actually a metal band, but it's pretty interesting. I got recommendation when I was listening to the new John Carpenter album, and then it just came up in my feed. They're called VHS Glitch, and they are mostly available through Bandcamp. They're from Japan and make this very Carpenter-like synth music. Very dark, very brooding, very electro. So I recommend everybody to check that one out
Awesome.
next week.
Absolutely.
How about you, Chrissy?
I'm gonna promote the Boyfriend's band. One of them, Hive from Minneapolis. They're available on Bandcamp. They're kind of a hardcore punk heavy. They're very heavy. They actually have a show next week if anybody from Minneapolis is listening or going to watch this. So, yeah, check them out. If you like heavy, check out Hive.
Awesome. And I'm going to throw my friend's band out there, Sasawunu, out of New Hampshire. They're this really awesome sludgy doom, wicked young band, but they're fucking amazing. I believe they're playing at a show soon in Connecticut, but their album Sludgehammer has been in my car CD player for the past week and a half straight, so check it out.
We're going to put all those links onto the Facebook site as well.
Yes.
So that those will be then easier to check out. So go and see that. And we're going to be opening up the website. So this is obviously going a bit slowly at this stage, but we're only just beginning. So if somebody has something to say about the show and of whatever, then just say it. If we don't like you or your opinion, we're just going to, kick you out and delete your comments. So don't give a shit.
So fuck off!
Just
Like, I know I suck, it's fine. Awesome.
But
Well,
no,
thank
let's
you all
not be
for-
mean. We love you all who might, probably, possibly listen to
Yes.
this.
Thank you for listening. We
Absolutely.
appreciate you all.
This is KKC logging out. See you next week.
Toodles.
Please.